Welcome back to Nighttime. My name is Arlene Pakulin. That was Wayne Sobers, Tom Kenya, and David O'Hearn, the Nighttime band for tonight. So the show does something called Michael's Peel Adventures, and where Michael goes out into the Peel region and has an adventure. So this time he comes, or no, he doesn't come, but he goes to the Living Arts Center, and he hangs out with the Mississauga Symphony Orchestra with the maestro. So let's check out the video.
Welcome to another edition of Michael's Peel Adventure. You know, we want to get out in the community. We want to experience things that are interesting. I'm here at the Mississauga Symphony, and I have a chance to speak to Maestro Mastromonaco. Maestro.
How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
Absolutely good.
This is the famous baton.
Yeah.
Tell us where that comes from.
This one is actually from Guivier, London. So it's a UK baton that I have custom made for me, and I order them in batches of 6. They do break quite easily, so I can't give it to you.
So how often do you break your baton?
Not as often as you would think, but about once a month, they do seem to just crack.
Just cracked. That's a very nice way of saying he gets frustrated. Every Tuesday of every week in a month, the symphony practices, and we're here privileged to see what kind of stuff they're going to do and what they're going to practice. Can you give us an idea what kind of songs or what you're practicing for?
Our next coming concert is called Mediterraneo, or Mediterranean, and we're doing Mendelssohn's Italian Symphony. We're doing a wonderful piece by Ravel, Spanish piece called Alborada, Iber, a Frenchman, and of course the Rodrigo Spanish Guitar Concerto.
Maestro Mastromonaco and the Mississauga Symphony. The next person who's very important in an orchestra is the concert master. Corey Gemmell is a professional musician and the concert master for the Mississauga Symphony Orchestra. Tell me a little bit about your position. You are a paid professional musician amongst many volunteers and other professionals, but you really are, I guess, second fiddle to the conductor, would you say?
Oh, well, we follow him all the time. But my job is basically to consolidate bowings and then offer a little bit of direction, some suggestions, just more of a focal point for the strings, because the strings comprise maybe about 60 or 70% of the orchestra. So the strings obviously form a very important part of the orchestra, and it's just another rung on the ladder to help keep things glued together.
And Corey, your violin is very beautiful. They're always so old, these violins, and it always takes a special person to make the bow make the music. Can you give us just a little sample as we go to our next person?
Certainly, no problem.
Perfect. You know, when you see a stand-up bass, you think of really cool music. You think of South. You think of, know, the southern states, not in this scenario. Paul Weston here is a stand-up double bass, and he's a volunteer, and he plays with the Mississauga Symphony. How long have you been playing bass for, Paul?
Well, this is my 10th year with the symphony. I kind of dabbled with bass when I was a kid at school. I joined the symphony as a viola player 10 years ago. Then I played violin. I also played clarinet, and I played saxophone. So I sort of cover those instruments, but I've been playing bass with this orchestra now for 5 years.
I mean, all you need to do, Paul, is play the drums, and you'll be able to supply the whole band. So have you been to New Orleans with your little baby here and done a little bit of shuck and jive?
I do a little bit of jazz on clarinet and sax, but not on the bass. I leave that to real bass players. I just kind of come along and join in on bass here when I can.
How fantastic is it to come here every Tuesday and practice with all these beautiful musicians, some professional, a lot volunteer. You are a volunteer. That's quite a dedication.
Well, that's one of the great things about music, something like community music here, is we're all volunteers really. Even if you're paid, you volunteer to do it. It's become a real vocation, and it's a great opportunity and a great venue to come and make great quality music. Probably the best community orchestra, certainly in Ontario, probably across Canada, in a great venue. And come and do our concerts in this Performing Arts Centre 6 times a year. It's a wonderful opportunity for people. So it's a great togetherness. The music is the greatest team sport there is, so we really feel part of a team here.
Love it. Thank you so much for all the good music and the good times you give us. Well, you can't play music without the notes, and these notes are written for the oboe. Karen Otenberg is a paid musician here in the Mississauga Symphony, and she plays the oboe. Karen, how long have you been playing with the Mississauga Symphony?
Actually, I've been playing with the Mississauga Symphony for over 30 years.
She started when she was very young. Tell me, what is that sound that we hear from the oboe that we know that it's the oboe?
Well, it's a very sort of reedy sound, and at the beginning of an orchestral concert, it's the oboe that tunes the orchestra. So that is the first sound that you will hear. The concertmaster will stand up and ask me to give the tuning note, and I do.
So everybody tunes to Miss Rotenberg. I mean, that's a position of power. So you're practically third in charge here, aren't you? It kind of looks like a clarinet. Do a lot of people confuse it as a clarinet?
Yes, people often think the oboe is a clarinet, but the clarinet is actually a cylinder, and it has a single reed, whereas the oboe has a double reed, and it's conical.
When we have this pickup.
So when Maestro says that it's done, you really get a feeling that he's leading them. The Mississauga Symphony is a perfect example of beautiful music. Take an opportunity to check them out, as we did. Absolutely beautiful.
All right, that was amazing. Make sure you guys check out the Mississauga Symphony Orchestra. And we're going to take a break and head over to the band.